I'm going to be discussing this whole amazing, pure perfection ending that happened on this pay-per-view last night. So the whole bloodline is in the ring. Jay has that big-ass rose necklace, and he wants to give it to Sami Zayn because he thinks Sami Zayn got the job done. It's time for finally to Roman to actually acknowledge this man. But Roman is like, hold up for 1 minute. What happens after that? He tells the Usos to go after Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens is a mess. Jimmy, or I should say the Usos, beat the shit out of Kevin Owens. Jimmy goes after Kevin Owens, then Jay goes after Kevin Owens. Both Usos beat down Kevin Owens. They proceed to hit the 1D after that. They then drag Kevin Owens into the corner. They drag him into the corner and they continue just to beat the shit out of this guy. And we get a bunch of Sami chants from the crowd. The Usos take the chair and put it in the head of Kevin Owens. Solo goes for the running hip attack in the corner with the chair wrapped around Kevin Owens' head. So after that hip attack spot, you had Roman asking Paul Heyman, who is on the apron, the wise man. He asks Paul Heyman for a set of handcuffs. But lo and behold, Paul Heyman does not only have one handcuff, he has two. And Roman gets both of those handcuffs. He gives one to Jay, and he gives one to Jimmy. He gives both of them the handcuffs, and the Usos handcuff Kevin Owens on the top rope, and it looks like Kevin Owens is like crucified on that shit. And what happens after that is the Usos go for repeated super kicks. And I mean repeated super kicks. Like they took turns super kicking Kevin Owens. They took turns super kicking Kevin Owens constantly. Just beating the shit out of this man, this poor man. Roman Reigns has the chair. And it looked like he was about to hit Kevin Owens with the chair. Roman Reigns himself. But what happens after that? Roman just screams at Kevin Owens before he's about to hit him that Sami is now his family. You disrespect Roman, you disrespect Sami Uso. That's what you hear not Sami Zayn. That's what you hear Roman Reigns saying. And then what happens after that is as soon as Roman Reigns is about to hit Sami Zayn with the chair, or not Sami Zayn with the chair, Kevin Owens with the chair. I am so invested in this whole shit that I'm completely like mashing up names. That's how good this shit is. As soon as he's about to hit Kevin Owens with the chair, Sami Zayn blocks Roman and tells him, hey, you do not need to do this. Very calmly, Sami Zayn tells Roman, you do not need to do this. You are better than this. You're better than this. You're the tribal chief. You're the universal champion. This is beneath you. You don't need to do this. It's enough. He tells Roman constantly that he is better than this. And Roman has just this weird, he doesn't have this happy look on his face, but it looks like he is calming down. But he still has the chair on his hand. Roman Reigns kind of just looks down. He looks down. And he gets his arm with the chair up, upside down, and offers the chair to Sami Zayn. And Sami has just this distraught look on his face. He's like, this is like knowing like, oh shit, this is my test right now. This is my former best friend. So Roman offers Sami the chair. And he tells Sami, I shouldn't do it. You should do it. After that, Paul Heyman, the wise man, is in the background saying it's his moment. It's Sami's moment. Roman hands him the chair, telling Sami that they have gone too far, that he is theirs now. He is a part of this family. Then after that, he tells Sami that Kevin Owens dragged him down since day one, and he calls him an anchor. He cares about him, and he loves Sami. In this ring, when he is with the Bloodline, they own this ring. Otherwise, go do some jackass shit. That is exactly the words that Roman Reigns tells Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn has the chair in his hands. And Sami sets up hitting Kevin Owens with the chair, but it's very tough for this fucking man to hit Kevin Owens with the chair because of the fact that Kevin Owens is Sami Zayn's former best friend. And it's going to hurt Sami Zayn like shit. I'm going to hit my best friend, man. You know, this is not what I intended. And what happens after that is Roman just constantly yelling for Sami to just pull the trigger. At this point, Sami is crying. And this is where shit gets intense. Sami is crying, and Roman sees this, and he asks him, "Are you crying?" And then Paul Heyman on the apron says, "There's no crying in the bloodline." And then you have Roman. Roman just sees this and just goes in the fucking face of Sami Zayn, just going after this man, saying, you know, he shoves the face of Sami, constantly going in his face, and asks him, "What's wrong with you?" Just screaming at him, yelling at him, asks him, "You think this is a game?" And for a second, Sami and Roman, now for a brief second, when Roman was getting like close to the head of Sami Zayn, it looked like in a way they were kind of butting heads, but that didn't happen. Sami just kind of like backed off, and he's like, okay, you're right, I'll do this, blah, blah, blah. And then Roman says that this is his whole life. And then Roman turns around and he goes towards Sami Zayn and constantly just screams his whole spiel on Kevin Owens. And then Sami grabs the chair and he starts swinging the chair and he leans towards Roman Reigns and hits the fucking chair on Roman Reigns. And let me tell you guys, the pop at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, that when Sami hit that chair on Roman, the fucking pop in the Alamo Dome was probably one of the loudest, if not the loudest pop that I have ever seen in a wrestling show, let alone WWE. Holy shit, the pop was crazy. That was probably one of the best pops that I have ever seen. The pop was insane. And then what happens after that? Jay, who is now on good graces with Sami Zayn, and Jimmy were distraught. They were upset. They were shocked, especially Jay, because keep in mind, at the beginning of this story, Jay despised the fact that Sami inserted himself into this family. But then fast forwarded to November at Survivor Series in the War Games match, Sami Zayn showed his allegiance towards the Bloodline, and then all of a sudden, right after War Games, Jay and Sami were almost like best friends, almost like brothers. If anything, Sami was like a second brother, if not the first brother over Jimmy. That's how close these guys were in storyline. That's how good this shit got. But what happened after that, Sami, Jay and Jimmy were just so upset. Jay more sad than upset, but he was upset. Jimmy, throughout this whole storyline, realistically, if you think about it, Jimmy was kind of the calm guy. Jay was more of the hothead. But in this moment, Jimmy was so pissed off, he turned toward Jay and screamed at him, "He's your brother? No, I'm your brother." And immediately super kicks the shit out of Sami Zayn. He super kicks this man, and he just goes after Sami Zayn, just beats the shit out of him. And then Solo Sikoa comes in, pushes Jimmy away, and then continues just Solo himself, beating the crap out of this man, this poor man. After that, Roman gets up. At first, after Roman got hit with the chair, he's just sitting there just shocked, almost like he was sad, even though Roman is the heel in this whole scenario. Roman just gets up and screams. He literally screams, "Kill him." He yells at both Jimmy and Solo to kill Sami Zayn. That's how intense this shit got. Solo and Jimmy just continue to beat the hell out of Sami while Roman is screaming. And while they're beating the shit out of him, Roman is just screaming, "I gave you the world. I gave you my life. I gave you everything. And this is how you repay me." It almost looked like there was got to be a tear shedding out of Roman, but Roman was fucking pissed. And then Jay, meanwhile, while all this crazy shit is going down, Jay is just sat out in the corner, just like, what the fuck is going on? He's like I don't want to say he's the innocent bystander, but he felt very bad for Sami Zayn. Now, keep in mind, way before this whole Sami Zayn shit started to happen, who was the first person that Roman Reigns feuded with back in 2020? Back in 2020, when Roman Reigns first turned heel, it was Jey Uso. Jey Uso, in this moment, was just shocked, almost in tears. This man, Roman, looks at Jey, who was in the corner, and Jimmy's like, "What are you doing? Come on, he ain't your brother." Jimmy's just screaming in the background while Roman is just looking shocked at Jimmy. And then what happens? Or at Jey. Jey, instead of beating the hell out of Sami Zayn and entering the fray, this man leaves the ring and walks out. And let me tell you, you thought that pop was loud. This pop was something else, because when Jey left the ring, it wasn't an immediate pop. When Jey left, it was like a slow occurring pop that was getting louder and louder as the farther Jey walked out of the ring. The farther Jey walked, the louder the pop got. That's how impactful this moment was. Jey leaves, and he leaves the ring, and Roman grabs the chair and repeatedly just hits and bashes the fucking chair on Sami Zayn in fucking anger, because he thought Sami was family, but instead he turned his back on him, so he just beats the living shit out of Sami. And then he goes for repeated rights on Sami after that. He rips the honorary use shirt off of him. And then Jimmy gives Roman the rose necklace that everybody in the Bloodline has. And then we get a bunch of "fuck you, Roman" chants in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome. Roman just rips off the pearls from the roses and just throws them onto Sami Zayn like he was a piece of garbage. What happens after that? Jimmy super kicks Kevin Owens again. Then the Bloodline leave the ring, leaving Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens left for dead. And then the ending after that, when all the members of the Bloodline just are like on the outside of the ring, Roman just whispers, but you can hear what Roman is saying. He tells Solo, "We're at war now, Solo. Take no prisoners now." And that's how the show ended. I don't even know what to say. I really don't. This was perfect. This was literally everything that you would expect with a storyline like this. It's hard to explain, but to put it in simple fucking words, this is long-term storytelling. If a story like this that you have been building up for almost 8 months, gets so intense and the culmination happens at this moment, what we saw last night was a pure example of how great long-term storytelling can be in wrestling. Long-term, bro, I'm so freaking shocked and happy that I'm completely botching the word storytelling. Long-term storytelling is what makes wrestling amazing. This whole thing, everything that we saw, the emotion, the spectacle, the drama, the intensity, the reaction, everything about this segment was just fucking pitch mega 1 million a trillion over infinity perfect. This was pure perfection. Nothing wrong with this segment at all. And hats off to everybody involved, because you had people literally cry watching this whole thing go down. That's how emotionally invested everybody was watching this whole thing. This moment, this ending, will go down as one of the best, if not the best ending to not only a WWE pay-per-view. This will go down as one of the best, if not the best ending to any pay-per-view in all of pro wrestling. Period. That's like literally, it was that damn good. I've never, especially for WWE, I've been very critical of WWE for these past few years. Ever since I started this channel, you guys know me. I've been talking shit about WWE, and rightfully so. Their product was dog shit. But ever since Triple H took over, this whole thing that happened at the Royal Rumble last night is exactly the type of shit that Triple H wants to give you for WrestleMania. I've never been more excited about what the future holds, and it's only going to get better. This is where everything starts to get intense. We are now 3 weeks away from the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in Montreal. What do I think is going to happen? It is pretty simple. Well, this is how I would book it. You are 3 weeks away from the Rumble. The Bloodline already execute Sami Zayn from the Bloodline. Sami Zayn is all alone. He challenges Roman to a match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Now, keep in mind, throughout the entirety of the build for that match, Kevin Owens is nowhere near to be shown. He is nowhere near to be shown at all. He doesn't show up on TV, none of that. And thing is, the interesting thing about this is Jay plays an interesting role in this as well, because Jay walked off. Now, what they're basically doing is having Jay be the one in Sami Zayn's shoes, because now he has to choose whether he's on the side of Roman or whether he's on the side of Sami. And what happens is, during the match at Elimination Chamber, Jay causes Sami the match, which will lead to a whole beatdown of Sami Zayn from the Bloodline, which would then lead to Kevin Owens coming out in Montreal to a huge standing ovation, saving Sami Zayn, and both friends reunite to take out the Usos at WrestleMania. That is basically what I think they're going to be doing. And you know what? I'm absolutely here for that. I'm here for that because of the fact that this is the type of shit that I want to see in wrestling. This is the type of shit that makes me a wrestling fan at the end of the day. It is. I am so happy. But at the same time, I'm just like so excited to see where the future holds. This was the single greatest ending to all the pay-per-views that I have watched in my lifetime. Everybody talks about Hogan turning heel in 1996 at Bash at the Beach and forming the New World Order. Everybody talks about SummerSlam 1997 when Shawn Michaels, as a special guest referee, accidentally hit The Undertaker, which led to Bret Hart winning the WWF title, and that led to, of course, the match at Bad Blood between both Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker in the very first Hell in a Cell match. Everybody talks about that ending. There's a lot of endings. Everybody talks about the Austin heel turn, but I don't even know if you want to call that the greatest. That was kind of a botched move, if you ask me. But there's a lot of pay-per-view endings that were very good. But this one felt very different. This was just perfect on all means. All means. It was that damn fucking good. And everybody involved should give themselves a pat on the back. Everybody involved just deserves all the credit that they get because this was perfect.